I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." Hi again, everybody. Forgive me for waxing poetic there, but I just couldn't help myself. It seemed so fitting. I'm back to talk about Day of Dragons again, much as I didn't really want to need to. Its early access launch has come and gone, and it went pretty much exactly the way I expected it to when I found out that they wanted to push for a November-December release. By which I mean it was an absolute dumpster fire. I've been lurking the Day of Dragons Discord just to kind of watch as the game develops, and hoping that things would improve, which from what I saw they didn't improve by much. And now the fabled day is here, and we're looking at people who never got their early access keys, people who are finding ways to fall through the map repeatedly, people who are finding that core gameplay mechanics such as hatching and eating just don't work. One of the core elements of any multiplayer game, which would be persistent servers, doesn't exist. There are people who logged in trying to play the game and just found that there were no servers available whatsoever. There were people asking mods and admins to just grow them adult dragons right off the bat, and with no way to feed them other than killing other players, it quickly devolved into just a spawn-killing mess, where people who tried to play the game legitimately found that they couldn't progress at all, simply because the bigger dragons needed to eat too. Which strikes me as a strange problem to have when there is footage of there being carcasses readily available to the players. I'm not sure when or how the decision to remove these was made, but it was very, very clearly a poor decision. There is nothing at all to suggest that more than 2 months of work has gone into developing this game, as opposed to the 2 years that JO is claiming. And while some people are making the argument that we should be lenient because it's an early access title, that only goes so far, as does the benefit of the doubt that we extend to JO for being a first-time developer and being inexperienced. Being a first-time developer, one would think that you would want to make your first impression be as good as possible, the best you can possibly make it. And instead, JO has taken this early success of his Kickstarter, and he has pushed the product out way too soon. We've been assured that there was stress testing done, but whatever stress testing there wasn't enough to iron out these early game bugs, like people getting stuck in rocks, or falling through the map, or not being able to hatch or eat. This is all stuff that the playtesters should have been testing for, if indeed they were playtesting at all. Because while there is footage out there of multiple people being in a server at a given time, there's no way to verify that they were indeed stress testing the game. Sometimes it happens that people just want to play the game way earlier than anybody else. All of this has culminated in a completely unprofessional launch, and I cannot be the only one who is profoundly disappointed in how this has all gone down. Like I mentioned in my first video talking about all of this, I would very much like to see a game like this succeed. I would like to be able to just be a dragon and support indie developers who want to make their dreams come true. But I cannot in good conscience say that Day of Dragons is a title worth supporting at this point. It burns me a little bit to know that this project has been so badly mismanaged, and yet it still managed to raise $500,000, and it still has the audacity to ask people to pay $20 for something that you can churn out in a couple of days, as has been proven by multiple people. And it also burns me a little bit to know that there is literally nothing to be done at this point but to wait it out, stick with it, keep an eye on news coming from Day of Dragons, and hope that it gets better for the sake of the people who backed it. I don't honestly expect this to turn into the kind of game that people were hoping that it was going to be. But it's still early on in this fiasco, so I could be easily proven wrong. We could see J.O. turn this around and turn it into a huge success story, and everybody could end up happy in the end. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I would hope, for the sake of the people who spent money to see this project become a reality, that it doesn't just die. That J.O. doesn't just quietly take the money and run the way Mesozoica ended up. This would be a scam 10 times bigger than Mesozoica, and it would be 10 times as infuriating if he just dropped the project and stole everybody's money and there's nothing that we could really do about it. All I can do now is say, please wait to spend money on Day of Dragons if you didn't back it. Please hold on to your money and wait for the game to be better than it is now. Please wait for more information to come out. And as for the YouTubers that helped the Kickstarter blow up as much as it did, I'm not naming names, they know who they are, and probably if you're watching this you do too. I would beg them to please do their research on these projects and the people behind them before they make them into big names. It is by no means a bad thing to promote small indie creators and get the word out there about them. But we've seen it happen time and time again, where someone with a large following draws attention to a project and makes a really big fuss about it, either because they're excited or because the project creator asks them to, or both, and it all goes sideways, and then nobody ever says another word about it because I don't know why. Maybe they're ashamed that they were ever involved, or they're just disappointed that it didn't pan out. But these disasters in the indie community happen, and then nobody talks about them afterwards, and it just leaves the cycle free to repeat itself over and over and over again. So please start doing more rigorous research into these things. You have young people watching you, regardless of your intended audience. These are young, impressionable people that get excited for the smallest things if you get excited for them. They are following your lead, so please be responsible leaders. And, well, that's my 2 cents on the matter as it stands right now. End of the day, my opinion might be worth something to you, or it might be something that you toss in the trash and say, hey, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, the dumb broad. To which my only response is, fair enough, darling, no hard feelings. If you made it this far into the video, you're a saint and I love you forever. Have a wonderful holiday season, everybody. Stay safe, eat lots of chocolate, get a lot of presents, give a lot of presents, and keep your friends and family close. You never know what's around the next corner, so live your best lives. And if I don't ever make another video, then it's been a lot of fun. Take care.